me try this again. This is my commentary for Surviving the Game. I did this a few days ago, and when I did the playback, I found that about 15 minutes before the movie had ended, around the hour and 21-minute mark, my microphone died. So I have to do this all over again. It's no problem. No problem at all. I like this movie a lot. You know, it's a favorite of mine from the early 90s, 1994. So I have it on pause. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And it's the old New Line Cinema logo. This was back when they were still independent, aka the house that Freddie built. That was A Nightmare on Elm Street was their first big hit. And I think this was a year before they became, before Warner Brothers became their parent company. Anyway, Rutger Hauer, Ice-T, Charles Dutton, John C. McGinley, William McNamara, here's Ice-T. As you see, he's homeless, looking for something to eat. With Gary Busey. And F. Murray Abraham, who most people might remember as Omar Suarez from Scarface. Movie opens up and it cuts back and forth from a man being hunted in the wilderness to Ice-T as Mason. Oh, some big ass dreads he got. Mason and his dog Mingo. We learn later on how he ended up on the streets. Mingo takes off running, and right in front of a taxi, damn, Mingo. Damn taxi driver, what about my money? You give me money now. And the guy being hunted is a stuntman named Stephen Lambert, who passed away not too long ago. It kind of opens up, the opening of this is reminiscent of a couple of other movies that have done this. Avenging Force from 1986 kind of opens up similar to this. And then the year before this, not even a whole year, about 6 months before this came out, Hard Target with Jean-Claude Van Damme, directed by John Woo, came out the summer of '93. That's a good double feature with this. Surviving the Game is one of a number of movies that's a retelling of the classic story, The Most Dangerous Game, written by Richard Connell. I believe it's from 1924, which is 102 years now. A century-old tale being retold. And buried his dog. Him and his friend Hank walking in the rain, looking for something to eat. And then Mason finds a gun. We gotta get something to eat. There it is. He finds a handgun. I got a gun. Check the barrel. And that little, that little piece right there is gonna pay off at the end of the movie. You check the barrel. You fire this and it'll blow up in your hand. The barrel's clogged, it'll blow up in your hand. Don't fuck around with that. As I was saying, this was I like to think of this as the golden days of New Line Cinema. They were still independent at this point before they became a Time Warner company, and ultimately Warner Brothers became their parent company, which the same Warner Brothers who was just bought out by Netflix. Found a slab of meat. Yeah, y'all gonna eat tonight. The security caught him. Security man. The security guy, he's played by stuntman and actor Bob Miner. He goes back a long way. He goes way back to probably the 60s. But he was he made appearances as, characters in movies, in particular, throughout the blaxploitation era. And he was a stuntman, also a part of the Black Stuntman Association. Yeah. You like beating up old people? Somebody's watching him in the distance from his car. I'm about to find out who it is that's watching him. Yeah, go get that meat. He rolls his window up. Find out soon just who that was watching me. And we'll later find out that's someone who seeks out homeless people so they can hunt them down. Hard Target had a similar story. Military veterans who fell on hard times and winded up homeless out on the street. And Lance Henriksen and Arnold Vosloo, who played Van Cleef there, they pick these guys up, offer them $10,000. If you make it to the river, you win. But even if they do make it to the river, you've seen their faces, ain't no way you're walking away. Hank has given him some advice, not to give up. hard times, but there are better days ahead. And it's the next morning. The meat is still smoking. Mhm. Yep. Rise and shine, Mason. Oh, not just yet. And he just lost his. First, he loses his dog Mingo, and now he loses his other friend, Hank. He died in his sleep. Yep. And he buries him next to Mingo. I feel your pain, Mason. I feel your pain. Yeah. Now he's beyond sad. He's gonna try and end it all. Yeah, man. Life sucks right now for him. And there's Charles Dutton as Mr. Cole. Yep. And that's the guy in the mystery man in the car that's been watching him. I was watching him the night before. Now he's following him. Yeah, he knows something's wrong. Mason, yeah, he's ready to end it all. So he's gonna walk in front of an 18-wheeler. Yep. And Cole, yep. Yeah. Like, get off me, man. Yeah. And you don't want to kill yourself. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I've experienced homelessness myself, and I never wanted to hurt myself, though. It's no walk in the park being homeless. It's depressing to say the least. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about a job out in the wilderness. He don't know a damn thing about the wilderness. Yeah. Go talk to Mr. Burns, played by the late Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer, he's one of those actors who's known. he's played good guys and bad guys, but when he played bad guys, he played some classic bad guys. Um, Back in 1981, if you ever watched the movie Nighthawks with Sylvester Stallone and Billy D. Williams, Rutger Hauer, he was a son of a bitch in that movie. He was a savage, a terrorist named Wolfgar. And of course, you know, people know him from Blade Runner, and and then there's The Hitcher from 1986. And some of his good guy roles, like Wanted Dead or Alive, fuck the bonus. And Blind Fury, I like Blind Fury. I always like Blind Fury. Split Second. Um, his last starring role was 15 years ago. Hobo with a Shotgun. That, yeah, it's ultra violent grindhouse throwback. You know, some of those scenes is not for the squeamish. You don't look much like a hunter to me. I was just gonna say the same thing about you. But the job needs someone with endurance. I got endurance. Mhm. Keep this up for a half hour. For 20 bucks, I'll run to Alaska. Put him on a treadmill for 30 minutes and he'll give him 20 bucks. He's like, for 20 bucks, I'll run to Alaska. He did it. Never underestimate a man who ain't got nothing to lose. All right? Best hotel in town. Gonna take that 20 bucks and get him a hotel room. Okay. It's interesting. 20 bucks. He bought him a bottle of wine. 20. I don't even think in 1994 you could buy something to drink and pay for a hotel room with 20 bucks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wish we could go back to those days. Inflation is a bitch nowadays. I mean, ugh. Make sure you wash your nasty ass before you get in that bed. The TV don't work, but that's all right. The room ain't much, but it's better than sleeping outside. So he bought something to eat. He bought a bottle of wine and a pack of cigarettes and got a hotel room with 20 bucks. sure back in the '70s you could probably get all that stuff, but not even in 1994 you could get all that for $20. That's cutting his dreads short, sipping his wine. And those burns on his back, man, nasty burns. Thought you wanted a job. How'd you get the burns? Playing with matches. Yeah, because he ain't telling them nothing about. I mean, that's you know red flag number one. He ain't telling them nothing about the job. He just wants to know how much is he getting paid. Give him 200 to start with in advance. And Burns says he spent time in third world countries. Give you an idea of where of how he developed his knack for hunting. He started out overseas. As long as I'm getting paid, he don't care as long as he's getting paid. And they're going to a place called Hell's Canyon. Red flag number two. A beautiful landscape they flying over. I think this was filmed at the in the Pacific Northwest. I like this piece of music too, by Stuart Copeland. A helicopter shot over this nice landscape. Way out in the boondocks, indeed. They're not gonna hunt the pig. That's dinner. There's the cabin in the middle of nowhere. And this was a low budget movie. Um, Unfortunately, it was a box office bomb. I think the budget was around 7 million and some change, and and that's how much it made at the box office. 7 million and some change. It made back its budget, and that's it. I remember when this was back in 1998 when Joe Bob Briggs he had his Monster Vision on TNT back then, and I remember he had Ice-T on his show, and he was showing Surviving the Game. Joe Bob Briggs and Ice-T was a guest on the show. You could probably find that interview on YouTube. Yeah. Nice cabin though. Chandelier made out of deer antlers. And that door is locked for a reason. Grab some beer. And a few other guys just flew in another plane. We're about to move. Mason's about to meet. Gary Busey as Doc Hawkins, John McGinley as Griffin, William McNamara as Derek Wolfe Jr., and F. Murray Abraham as Derek Wolfe Sr. I did mention that F. Murray Abraham, who plays Mr. Wolfe Sr., he won an Oscar for Amadeus, which I never saw that, but most people know him best from Scarface. Red flag number 3. A pig's head on a platter in the middle of the dinner table. Who does that? Each man out here will experience the animal within himself. So embrace it. Don't deny it. Allow yourself to feel the purity of your primal essence. It's God's gift to man. Here's a toast to the hunters and a prayer for the hunted. Amen. Mm-hmm. But still, I don't eat a whole lot of pork. But when I do, I'm damn sure I ain't gonna sit there, sitting at the table with a pig's head on a platter. Like, you know, and we learned that Gary Busey, he says he's a shrink, psychiatrist who works for the CIA. Griffin is staring a hole through him the whole time. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, Mason has no clue. Mm. Yeah, how do you do that? How can you know that the meat would be so great while the pig is still breathing? Now, why the fuck you do, man? Yo, I would have snapped. Gary Busey takes the platter and I mean, it's nasty. It's creepy enough that we're sitting there eating with the damn pig's head in the middle of the damn table, and you're gonna move the platter like, man, and then he turns his head. Yo, that is say the least. 450 when you're eating from the flesh of a pig, look into its beady eyes. That way you will be devouring his soul. Okay. But still, yeah, these guys are freaky. And y'all emptied 6 bottles of that wine? Cigarettes, cigarettes. And this guy, he's just, yeah, I mean, he's been staring a hole through him ever since he got there. Plus, this dude's been looking at me all day, yeah, ever since he arrived. Have you ever killed anything? What? My wife and kids. Did you hear what he just said? He said, "You're mine tomorrow." He said, "How did that make you feel?" I came in my fucking pants. How'd you get that funny scar up under your eye? And here he goes into this monologue, this story about a bulldog he had named Prince Henry Stout. Fed him, he groomed him, trained him, raised him. Prince Henry Stout. And he's going into this story about how he would throw M80s at the dog. And there was this dummy, he would hide behind the dummy and throw M80s at the dog. To the point to where the dog would get pissed off and just rip the dummy apart. 13 years old, got me a 12-gauge shotgun. It's a nice little speech, compelling little story, but how much of this story is true? The way he tells the story, it's intriguing, but how much of it is true? You're gonna face manhood. You're gonna fight that dog to the death. He's gonna kill you, or you're gonna kill him. Now, boom. And now this part I don't buy. Got my arm between his, roll over, right? Yeah, that part I don't buy. But it's a compelling story. I think he's telling him this just to get under Mason's skin. But then again, he claims to be psychiatrist that works for the CIA. So this could be a psychological operation he's performing on Mason. The feather, what is it? Turkey. Yep. Here's to the turkeys, Mason. Burns takes Mason to his room. Mr. Burns, I really want to thank you. I'll tell you about the job tomorrow. He's about to find out. With a rude awakening that he is the job. The next morning, sun is shining. And in a few seconds, he's about to wake up with a gun to his face. Like I said, a rude awakening. Rise and shine, Mason. Right? We like to play a game. Very simple. You see, the hunt begins now. We're the hunters, and you're the hunted. Uh-huh. I didn't get to see this in theaters. It came out in April of 1994. Where I was living at the time, the theater wasn't showing this movie, so I had to wait till it came to VHS later that year, and I think it was September '94. And when I first saw it, I immediately fell in love with it. You know, as I said, it came out 6 months after Hard Target. He really don't believe this is happening to him. He thought he was just about to get his life back together, and now this. You know, he lost his dog and his his two closest friends at the beginning. His dog Mingo and his buddy Hank. And he meets these guys and he thinks he's getting his life back together. Or at least the first steps as, to a better life. Nope. Now, Derek Jr., he don't want to take part in this. And Senior is telling him, hey, I spent $50,000 for you to develop an instinct you don't have. And I'll be damned if you ain't gonna learn it. Let's get some breakfast up in you. And what's interesting, this actor, William McNamara, he ended up playing a killer in 1995. Copycat with Sigourney Weaver and Holly Hunter. It's a good thriller. Yeah. Doc Hawkins, he's ready to go. We're wasting time. We're gonna give him some more time. Think of it as foreplay. Prince Henry Stout. Remember the rules? Mm. Hmm. And Mason hauling ass. He's hauling ass through the wilderness. They told him they gave him a head start for as long as it takes them to eat breakfast. He's running through the woods, and they're still having their breakfast. Hmm. It's crazy how they just, his dad thrust him into this. Like, there was another movie that pretty much reminded me of this, and then ironically, it's a direct-to-video sequel to Hard Target, Hard Target 2, back with Scott Adkins. Not as good as the original, but I like Scott Adkins movies. But that's one of his, you know, it's not one of his good ones. And yeah, Hard Target 2 had a father and son that reminded me of the father and son in this movie. Now, off they go. Yeah, get moving. They're on your trail. You see these tracks? Stevie Wonder can follow these tracks. Yeah, but this is a solid, take on the most dangerous game. You what other movies have? I think I mentioned Avenging Force when I first started this with Michael Dudikoff and Steve James from 1986 from Cannon Films. Um, that's a movie that still pisses me off to this day because I was a big fan of Steve James, and halfway through the movie, him and his family gets taken out by a group of white supremacists. If you've seen Avenging Force from 1986, you know what I'm talking about. Some other movies based, you know, that are inspired by that classic story, The Most Dangerous Game, like The Hunger Games. I can never get into those. Um, there's some other ones, but can't remember them right now at this moment. Anyway, think, think. Yeah. He's looking at a deer and said, "Hey, that's Mason. He just shot and killed 4 trees." Mm-hmm. come up with something, man, because they're closing in on you. All right, he thought of something. Hey, he went back to the cabin. He's looking for guns, of course. Ain't no guns there. They got all the guns. None of them has ever done that before. I think he's going back to the cabin. Yeah, uh-huh. Y'all picked the right one. He picks up a rock, break off this lock, but ain't no guns in there though. What is that? Ooh. Heads and jars. All the people they hunted. And then they got a jar with your name on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Pouring gasoline all over the cabin. About to light it up. And here they come. I'm coming for you, Mason. Here I come, Mason. Mr. Mason. Yeah, he got something for y'all. Uh-huh. Remember what he said. Never underestimate a man who ain't got nothing to lose. And he lost everything. And he's fighting for his life. That's all he got left. And he's gonna fight tooth and nail for his life. It ain't gonna be me. All those heads I saw in that damn room, ain't gonna be me. Not I. No way. 47 minutes. Halfway through the movie already. I mean, this goes at a fast pace. And he's fighting it out with Hawkins. He took Gary Busey out pretty quick, though. Yeah, he was the first to go. From what I understand, that was originally wasn't the idea, but I guess shooting schedule or whatever, and they had to. I like my meat rare. Yeah. Left, right hook, and toss him back in the cabin. Try well done, bitch. The head jars explode, and then the whole room, boof. And there goes Doc Hawkins. This got a 35% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but you know, listens to Rotten Tomatoes? I don't. The same Rotten Tomatoes that gave 0% to another movie that came out this same year, A Low Down Dirty Shame. They gave that a 0%. Really? Should be proud of yourself. Now, which way did he go? Of course, he nearly killed you. That's the name of the game, right? Kill or be killed. Turn around. A wolf dog. Yeah. Hey, I ain't gonna hurt you. Let me just get up out your woods. You know what I'm saying? You have a nice day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stay right there. Yeah. Don't mess with no wolf. I remember when he talked to Joe Bob Briggs about this scene right here, where he leaps off the cliff. You know, they put a wire on his back, and and he descended down. With the camera. You know, it was a good stunt though. But he was on a wire, and he descended on down into the water. Yeah, Griffin, he's all messed up. He had recently lost his daughter. How cold is that water? Mhm. What's weird about this is that he pulls that pack of cigarettes out of his pocket, and the cigarettes are dry, but he's soaking wet. How is that possible? Ice T running through the woods with those dreads, he kind of looked like the Predator a little bit, except shorter. We go on foot from here. Yeah, there's a a cigarette burning, but it ain't him smoking it. You got asthma and you out here hunting. The game continued. I know I'm not saying a whole lot, getting caught up in the movie. Yeah, yeah, you been had. The tree smoking a cigarette. Hmm. Yeah, you know how to pick them, but you won't be picking no more after this one. Old Griffey, look up. Yeah, Griffin just got. Carrying him on his back and then boom, bang his head off the tree. Shut the fuck up. Taking him to that little hole in the cave. Well, hole in the mountain, I should say. The cave. If you're lost, Griffin, I'll guide you home. And they're not gonna let you go, dude. They ain't letting you go. This is a time before the internet and electronics and social media. I'm gonna do this my way, or Griffin's dead. This, but this is a solid, take on the most dangerous game. It's not as explosive or stylized as Hard Target, but it's still it. I think it's a good double feature with Hard Target. Um, there's another one that follows that the most dangerous game story. It just came to my mind from Rob Zombie, 31. That also, it's a horror movie, but it is basically, the most dangerous game. The Running Man. The Running Man. That's another one with Arnold Schwarzenegger. There was a new one that came out recently. I have no interest. I grew up on the Schwarzenegger movie. The Hunger Games, like I said, I can never get into those. I never seen them. It's nightfall again. Looks like Burns is lighting a joint. Now, while y'all sitting out there, you leaning back smoking, he knows where Mason is. You think we'll find Mason tomorrow? I know where he is. He's right over there. We'll have him sit up all night waiting, then we'll surprise him at dawn. Okay. To your own detriment. No position to be threatening me, cowboy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just because you sleep on the ground doesn't mean you're an animal. It just means you're poor. It's true. Mm-hmm. And you might want to relax before you do have a asthma attack. See, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to give you your inhaler. He could have just let your ass have that asthma attack and leave your ass for dead if he really wanted to. And now you're gonna accuse him of following your daughter to school. She tried to get away from him, and for all I know, it was you. Mm. Yeah, man, you need counseling, right? You need some counseling. Right? Like, you don't know a damn thing about me. He had kids of his own. Now he's telling his story. He made his living as a mechanic. He had a wife, a newborn child. He was the he was the manager of this building, apartment building, and but it was a dangerous place. It should have been condemned. And the place was a fire. Turns out the place was a fire trap. He became the manager of the building. That was the only way he could stay there for free. He comes home from work. He sees a bunch of commotion in the street, and like, by the time he got to the building, his wife and kid had burned to death. And he takes the blame for not fixing that place up the way he wanted to, the way he meant to, but he just kept putting it off. And they're dead, ain't they? He takes the blame. difference a day makes. And after Mason told him that, shared his story with Griffin, Griffin has a change of heart. He's like, hey, I can't do this no more. I'm ready to go home. You know, Mason could have killed me if he wanted to, but he didn't. Gotta let him go. You ain't going nowhere. Gotta let him go. Nope. Let's say it once. I ain't going out with y'all no more. I'm done. I'm going home. You stupid Texas Cowboys, you stop right there. What? You gonna shoot me in the back? Yeah. Not exactly. Well, you wanted to go home. They sent you home. All in this together. Yeah. Well, well, they killed one of their own, and now it's 4 left. I say my odds are getting better. Yeah, they are. I wasn't even close. You never shot a big boar before? You're cold. Your mama's up here. And the game continues. He thinks we won't follow him in the water. Boy, who's hunting who is the question. Y'all think y'all hunting him, but it's the other way around, actually. And there he is, hiding inside of a log. Like I said, y'all ain't hunting him. He's hunting y'all. I like he gets cold real good in a few seconds. Hmm. Yeah, you don't like this, and you really ain't gonna like what happens next. Yep. Rig up his ATV. Yep. it down into the fuel tank. Got something for your ass, Cole. Now Burns, he could have shot him right in the back, right then and there, but he says, keep it going. Keep the game going. And boom. Yeah, boy. Mm. You ain't the last pick. You ain't the last pick. For you, he is the last pick. You ain't picking nobody else. Uh-huh. He ain't the last pick. He ain't the last pick. Mm. Yeah, he's in bad shape. Gonna have to put you to bed. Down goes Cole. Another one down. 3 to go. Y'all still ain't had enough, huh? But as Burns says, keep the game going. So, to their own detriment. And Cole, he was the guy that, he would seek out the homeless people and bring them to Burns. Hunting season's coming to an end for these guys. And Mason's on the move still. Got him a shotgun now. But he never uses it against them, though. He has to get. I like this little fake out that he plays with them. Shoots the tree. Three left. It's gotta work. 3 more shells. Timber. Yeah. What are you gonna do? We're going after him. What you think? You scared of heights? find out that he never went across the tree. Psych. He's been behind you the whole time. Yep. And there goes Derek Jr. Yep. Bye-bye, Junior. It's your fault, Senior. You brought him into this. He's really throwing all of y'all off y'all game. No, he ain't dead yet, but you will be. Now it's two to go. Wolf Sr. and Old Burns. And he climbs his way back up. You know, the movie does live up to its title, Surviving the Game. I also wanted to mention uh, the director, Ernest Dickerson. He started out as a cinematographer on movies like Enemy Territory and a number of Spike Lee's projects. And he made his directorial debut in 1992 with Juice, with Omar Epps, Tupac, Khalil Kain, and Jermaine Hopkins. I think everybody's seen Juice. And after this, and then he directed this after that. And then after this, he directed Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Knight. And that's the movie that gave us our first black final girl with Jada Pinkett. She was the. When I think about that, I was like, that's crazy, man. Like, a black final girl in a horror movie. We didn't get that until 1995. You know, if you ever seen Demon Knight, you know, Jada Pinkett's the final girl. You know, Dickerson, he also directed Bulletproof with Damon Wayans and Adam Sandler. He directed Bones with Snoop Dogg and Pam Grier. Can't think of anything else he's directed recently. I have to look it up. Let's see. Never Die Alone with DMX. He directed that too. He also directed Future Sport, if anybody remembers that, with Dean Cain and Wesley Snipes. Double Play, never heard of that, from 2017. It's a drama. Double Play, never heard of that. Ambushed. Ambushed from 1998. This is a thriller with Courtney B. Vance. I may have seen this movie once, but the leader of a Ku Klux Klan lodge is shot dead and his son is taken into custody for protection. The police car taking him to a safe house is ambushed and 3 police officers are shot dead. Officer Jerry Robinson is accused of the murders. I have to give this another watch. Yeah, those are some of his movies. The ones that I know of, that I've seen and know of. But yeah, Mason and Wolf Sr., they're going at it now. While Burns is over there hiding and watching. The scene is kind of weird though, because like it's nightfall. Burns, Burns, I'm coming for you. You know how quickly it becomes daylight from this moment. You know, as he's rolling, he hops on the ATV, chasing after Burns, and look, it's daylight already. Little error in continuity. We're pretty much at the finale of this movie now. It's just Mason and Burns now. Got about 10 more minutes to go. And wow, this movie does go at a fast pace, like I said. And usually my favorite types of movies are the ones that have a fast pace, you know. They usually run like 90 minutes or less. You know, I like movies with short running times, you know, because we live in an era where, you know, everything has to be 2.5, and 3 hours, even 4 hours. You know, some stories they call for long running times, but there are others where, you know, an editor is needed. And Burns blew up the plane. He jumped in the other plane and flew his way out. And I like how Mason just comes up out of the dirt. FT was on Monster Vision with Joe Bob Briggs. He talked about how Ernest Dickerson directed him, told him like rise like the phoenix. So, I like this piece of music too. Seattle, 3 days later. Burns is trying to be incognito or whatever, don't want to get noticed. Right now he's dressed up as a priest. And an answering machine. A message from Melinda Wolf. Familiar last name. I guess this is that's Mr. Wolf Sr.'s wife and Junior's mother. Where do you think you're going? Click, click, click. You ain't going nowhere. Dressed like a priest and carrying a big ass suitcase. You got a problem with homeless people? Could have gave her $1. Jerk. And there's Mason. Huh? Hey, Father Burns. It would have been cool to have this little this fight between these two to be a little bit more grandiose, but you know, this is a low budget movie, so they probably didn't have the timing, the schedule. They had to, wrap it up as fast as possible. Um, I don't know how many days they shot this. Bite his ear off. I ain't gonna try and strangle him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel that electric? you now. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. The moment you've been waiting for. Yeah, do it, Mason. Finish the game. Game's over. Yep. And here's where the scene at the beginning where he found that gun in the garbage. Here's where it pays off. Barnes, there's something you should always do when you find a gun. He clogged up the barrel and always check the barrel. End credits. And that is surviving the game. Yeah, that was my commentary. Drop a comment, like, share, subscribe if you like. If you like this video and any of my other videos. And until my next video, I'll see you then. Good day.